moving into Heidi and Dan. And again, Heidi rather, is a well-seasoned competitor. She has a 6.29 personal record in the WCA. Dan with a 7.73. So this is probably the biggest disparity between a first round matchup that we're going to have for this competition.
They're going in right now here for this next round. We're starting off with Dan Pastushkov, and he's going to start with an 876 for his first solve of PSL Sacramento.
His turning was pretty clean there. I'm actually surprised at how fast it was. He was just pausing a little bit, but an 8.76 is very good for his first ever PSL solve. And here with Heidi, she's looking to do a little bit better, but she was competing in the last PSL at Berkeley, and she was able to get through the first round, beating Micah Yale.
Heidi and Dan both CFOP users in this competition. Here goes Heidi. Very, very smooth turning from Heidi. Going into last layer, puts it down with a 761. Heidi takes solve number one.
And even with not the best last layer cases, she's able to get it done. And there you can just see the smooth turning. I mean, virtually no lockups there. She doesn't even need to turn her fastest in order to get that done.
Let's return to Dan Pastushkov. He sits down with behind 1-0. Dan, of course, a very well-rounded user of FTO. And hang on just a minute here. Looks like we might have an incident here.
Looks like Dan didn't keep his hands on the pads for long enough, and he may have started turning the cube before the timer actually started, which in the WCA would result in a DNF. We'll see how they handle it here.
Yeah, this looked to be, it's one of those common cases where you get both hands on the timer, and that's a tough thing because you're so antsy to get going, but at the same time, you just gotta wait as quick as you can for that green light to pop up on the timer. And yes, it looks like it appears to be a DNF for turning the cube too early. So this opens the door for Heidi to go up 2 solves. All she's got to do is solve the cube and stop the timer. And she's going to do just that with a 776. Heidi up 2 solves to nothing.
And on the timer starts, when you don't practice with a stack mat timer, or if you're a little bit more nervous than usual, it just becomes stylistic as to how long you want to keep your hands on the timer. Some people do it really quickly, and some people just choose to take a little bit of extra time. And I'm sure at this point, Dan is going to start to take some extra time.
Here goes Dan. He trails 2 solves to none. How can he get back on track here? He's going to go for yellow. Pretty quick turning through F2L, looking to get to last layer relatively quickly. Big pause there going into last layer. Soft tap of the hands at 12:56. Door is open for Heidi.
You're absolutely right. The door is wide open for Heidi. She can probably walk to a 12-second solve. She just needs to not DNF. And on this solve, Dan was going pretty smooth until the very last pair where he had to do quite a few moves with his left hand, which isn't really something you're trying to do.
Here goes Heidi with her solve. Has to beat a 12:56 to move on. Going into PLL 697. It's a clean sweep for Heidi. She moves on to the next round.
And she got better and better after each solve. She settled in pretty quickly here. She already does have a little bit of experience in the PSL, and you can kind of see that here. A nice ZB at the end there, a 9 mover.